In today's take, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers. I want to talk about the tough matchup they had today against the Warriors. And is it the toughest matchup they had all season? Now, before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell, just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Now, let's just go ahead and jump right into this. So today is a big matchup for the Clippers today. You know, they play today against the Warriors, and they played against the Warriors earlier this season. They played against them, and the Warriors beat them. And, you know, the Warriors were definitely the better team then. And right now, they're definitely the better team now if you look at their overall record. But the reason why I feel like the Clippers might have an opportunity to beat this team, you know, in this segment here on this time is because, well, the Clippers are a little bit different of a team than what they were in the beginning of the season. The beginning of the season, I feel like they were just trying to find their footing. They were just trying to, just walk into the season and see, try some things out, see what they're like. Now I think they know their angle. They know how they want to attack teams. And that's definitely a good thing going into a game like this, playing a team like the Warriors. But, of course, with that being said, they definitely can find themselves losing this game because the Warriors are a very good team, very good ball movement team. They play within their means. They don't do anything out of realm. They don't do nothing dumb, and they don't beat themselves. They basically try to live turnover free as much as possible. And that's, something that's winning basketball. That's winning basketball, period. There's no other way to look at it. And the Clippers, they play winning basketball too at times. It's just there's other times where they fall asleep on defense, as I said before, and they allow teams to creep into games, or sometimes they allow teams to take a lead on them where the Clippers don't make a comeback because they allowed this team that's definitely not superior to them to beat them, like a team like the Pelicans, which was very embarrassing. When you have losses like that, it makes it hard for you to think that the Clippers are going to win today against the Warriors. And it's making it very hard for me to pick the Clippers over the Warriors if they're going to play the way they did against the Pelicans. Now, of course, I've said before about the Clippers, they always play down to their competition, and they always seem to play up to their competition. So, today's game is going to be a tricky one. I personally think it's going to be a close game. Just to give you my prediction on it, I'm going to pick the Clippers. I'm going to go out on a limb and pick them, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Warriors win. I mean, I'm going to say this. If the Clippers win, it's going to be by 2 or 3 points. If the Warriors win, it's going to be by 10 plus points. That's just my prediction. So I know that's kind of biased, but still, I'm picking the Clippers to win. I'm picking the Clippers to edge it out. But if they do lose, I feel like the Warriors are definitely going to take advantage, a lot if the Warriors win. So it's a big game for the Clippers. It's a big test. And, I don't want to make too much of it because, like I said, they're going to play the Warriors again in the season, and everything like that. And, the Warriors are probably going to look different even the next time because the next time they'll probably have Klay Thompson. And maybe the next time the Clippers will have Kawhi Leonard, possibly. So, it's going to be one of those type games today, even though everybody is not 100% healthy on both teams, but both teams are still really good the way they're constructed right now. So I expect a very high scoring game. I expect maybe like 122 to 119, or 122 to 111, something like that. I expect one of those high scoring games, in this series here, because, this game right here, definitely is a big game for the Clippers, because if you could find a way to beat the Warriors, if it comes down to a seeding issue in the future, you will have you'll have the tiebreaker with them, especially. Well, if you play them again, you have the tiebreaker, and then you have to break the tie, I should say. So if the Clippers win the day, the series between the two in the regular season to be tied 1-1, and then the tie will be broken the next time they play down the line of the season, whenever that is. And which that could be within the next week or two, actually. So you never know. But my point is this, the Clippers have an opportunity to go out there and show what type of team they can be, and definitely put the world on notice. And, a team like the Warriors, a lot of times, the Warriors, even though they have the good ball movement, sometimes they could just come into games missing shots. I've seen them come into games and miss shots, and and other teams jump on them early, but they stick to what they do with the ball movement. I got to give them a lot of credit. Shout out to Stephen Curry and Steve Kerr and the rest of the crew out there. They play ball really well. Draymond Green is almost a walking triple-double, if you ask me. He can get you 10, 10, and 10 any day of the week. Stephen Curry can almost get you a triple double as well. I mean, there's times where he can get you, he's gotten close to get a triple double, but I wouldn't say he's a walking triple double, but he's liable to, have a really big game passing the ball and shooting. So, I mean, it's definitely a plus when your superstar can pass the ball as well. And, you look at the Jordan Pooles and the rest of the guys that they have, the Wiggins and the rest of them, like they feed off that energy. They feed off the energy of, Draymond, Stephen Curry, and how they're playing, and how they like to pass the ball, and what Steve Kerr is implementing. So the Clippers are going to have their hands full. And as far as the Clippers, they're going to have to be impactful on the boards, mainly anything. Anytime offensive rebounds are going to be key in this game, because in this game here, if the Warriors do go on a missing streak and they start missing shots, and they're not in rhythm, you got to make sure you secure the boards, because you don't want Kevin Looney, or I don't know if I doubt if Wiseman's going to play, but you don't want to be out rebounded against this team, knowing that they have better ball movement and better spacing on the floor than you do. If a team has better, spacing on the floor, the way they play, and their ball movement is more crisp and sharp and better than yours, you at least need to counteract that, to me, by rebounding the ball very well. And if you rebound the ball very well, win the boards, and win the turnover battle, you got a chance to beat the team. And that's exactly what the Clippers need to do. They need to win on the rebounds, and they need to win the turnover battle. You can't have more turnovers than the Warriors and think you're going to beat them. You have to have less turnovers, and you have to win on the rebounds, because that gives you extra possessions, whether it's offensive rebound, or maybe they come down and shoot a three on a fast break and you get it and you push the ball back up the other end of the court, and you get an easy score, and they get no points on that possession. That's the way the Clippers are going to have to play. They're going to have to play systematic like that, because that's just pretty much the only way you could beat a team like the Warriors. They're definitely well coached. They definitely got a superstar that's better than the Clippers superstar player. I'm pretty sure most people will say Stephen Curry is better than Paul George. And on top of that, like I said, their second best player in Draymond Green is a facilitator. He's not even really a scorer, so he likes to actually get people in scoring position and facilitate, but he can also, every now and then get his own shot, go to the rim with a layup and, cause havoc. And plus he could play defense really good. So I expect that he's going to be on Paul George, and that definitely might be a tough night for Paul George if Draymond is on him all night. Definitely going to be tough. So we'll see how that pans out. But I'm definitely anticipating to see how this game turns out, because I definitely want to see exactly where the Clippers are. And I think this game will determine that. I think Paul George will have close to 30 points. I think Reggie Jackson's going to continue shooting, well, and scoring the way he's been scoring the last 3 or 4 games. And I honestly think the person that really needs a big game out of here is either Ibaka or Zubac. Honestly, I would need one of them to have a big game. And when I say big game, I pretty much just mean like if they can give, but each player, like let's say whoever the starter, I think Zubac going to be the starter. So let's say Zubac is the starter. I'm going to need Zubac to have at least 17 and 16 this game. I mean, because it really is, it's going to take, something like that for them to win this game. Like I said, they need to win the rebound battle, and they need to win the turnover battle. So in order to do that, Zubac's going to have to get dirty in there and get some big boards, he has to get a few offensive rebounds as well, just in case, because like I said, Paul George and them are not shooting very well, then, getting those extra possessions, offensive rebounds could help. So that's why I said the Clippers it's imperative that they win the rebound and turnover battle, because you don't want to turn the ball over more than the Warriors, because you're not going to beat them, because they're predominantly a 3-point shooting team. So if you turn the ball over a lot, you'll probably get blown out by them. So this is my point. The Clippers are going to have to come out. They're going to have to play with that sense of urgency, and they're going to have to start fast. You can't start slow against the Warriors, because like I said, their ball movement's too good, and they're a very unselfish team. When you play a team that's a great team that's unselfish, you got a problem on your hands, because it might not go through Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry might only have 25 points, but Jordan Poole might have 25. You see what I'm saying? Damian Lee, he might have 20. Draymond might have 16 and 10 and 8. That you're going to get beat that way. And that's what I'm saying. They can't go out there. The Clippers can't go out there lagging. Marcus Morris, now he's back. It looked like his footing's under him a little bit. He's going to have to go out there and have a big game. He's going to have to go out there and maybe not have a big game, but he's going to have to go out there and at least put up his 16 to 17 points to back up Reggie Jackson and Paul George, which is the number 1 and number 2 scorers on the team right now. So, you're going to have to be able to back them up. So I expect more out of him. I expect him, to come out there and play the way we feel like he can, So, that definitely would help the Clippers in their, attempt to beat the Warriors if they can get that contribution out of Marcus Morris. Because I've said many times before, the team really goes how he goes. If he's playing really well, if he scores over 20 plus points in a game, they usually always win. And that's just pretty much how it goes with that. So I expect to see him do something. I'm still waiting on Terrence Mann to deliver, one of those big games off the bench. I don't want to see him have that 39-point game he had last year against Utah. And that's the only time we ever seen him like erupt or have a game, remotely close to that. I mean, he can score like 29 or 31 or something like that. That'd be good enough. Just kind of like, follow up what you did just to let everybody know that you are a comparable piece off the bench that can light a fire and go off at any point in time on the floor. So I'm still waiting for Terrence Mann to have that breakout game. I definitely think, he's going to do it. And I'm going to say this would be the game to do it at, because if he can, then I think, the Clippers definitely win this game if he has a breakout game. So, we'll see how that goes there. I expect the Clippers to play well. I expect Ty Lue to have them ready, but I also expect the Warriors to be ready. I told you my prediction, my scores, and I can't wait to see the game, and then we can kind of go from there and see how it ends up. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And hey, Cali out.